I'm Julie Meyer. I'm the founder of the FTE Winter Summit 2024, and I'm here with Carlos Solà-Vila, the CEO of ArtDot. Carlos, good to have you with us. Thank you so much for coming this year. It was great. This is your first FTE?
Yes, my first time here in FTE and enjoying with everything that was happening the last 2 days and all the excitement and energy that I could find in that event. Yeah, it has been amazing.
Wonderful. What was different than you thought it would be?
Well, I think that because sometimes I was involved in another kind of accelerators and places that they are trying to help the startups, but I never found that kind of energy, that kind of level of projects that you really, it was none of them, it was bad project, it was everything, it was so exciting, a lot of good projects, amazing people. And I really enjoyed, not just for the startup point of view, as a human point of view, it was a great time for me.
We only have the best, we have people coming in from all over the world, 30 nationalities, 40% women, probably average age 45. A couple of people came with their kids. People feel really open to share. And I agree, it was hard not to feel extremely positive about the future of the world because the entrepreneurs here were and are hitting it out of the ballpark. And which is why it was nice to have you and what you're doing with ArtDot, because as you said so well on stage, what's it all for? To enjoy life. And art is part of life. I thought that vision, just share with our listeners here about how you came to do ArtDot. What drives you with this project?
Yeah. I think that the first or the most important thing to understand that I'm an electrical engineer. So my background is engineering. I was used to work with one part of my brain, the logical, the rational.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I met with entrepreneurs in the big corporations and they proposed me to start to work in fashion business. And then from there, it was the time to connect with creative people, with the designers, with the beauty, with art. And my brain suddenly changed. I started to find the importance that art brings to the society, to the humans, to have that happiness. Because sometimes when you are looking only the problems, it's not the way that the humans work. The humans, they want balance, they want beauty, they want a relationship with the rest of the people, they want love, they want care. And everything is coming to that point that art normally is in the center. Yeah. And beauty is in the center and balance is in the center. It means that that kind of journey made me thought that maybe I need to bring my technical engineering skills with my learnings from the fashion companies and my passion for collection, because at the end of the day I'm a collector and I wanted to bring that as how I can make that kind of art accessible to everybody through the technology.
Do you think you're unusual? I think you are, as a right brain, left brain aficionado. I mean, you got both. I think you lucked out in the jackpot of life, my friend.
I try my best to use both,
yeah,
because I think that there is both things coming from both sides. And if you lose one of the both sides, you lose a lot of things.
What do you collect? What do you collect?
I used to collect Spanish painters.
Okay.
I have like a Miró, I have plants,
yes.
I have Luis Vilà, I have Catalans and Spanish painters, and I was traveling around the world. You can imagine I had to move my collection with me every time that I was traveling from Barcelona to London to Hong Kong.
Wow.
And that was like, it's not possible to enjoy my collection in that way. And that's the reason, because I make a step forward on that, and then I decided to say, well, let's try to do, or let's try to figure out how art can be enjoyed in another way, and that was one of the things that.
Originally Barcelona.
Yes.
How many years in Hong Kong?
I spent the last 5 years in Hong Kong.
London?
I moved to London 10 years ago, and I spent 5 years in London, and now I'm in London again.
Switzerland?
Well, why not? It's a nice place, and now I started to have a good connections and great friends. It means that maybe it's a good place to come.
A
Yeah.
lot of focus on art, a lot of deep collectors. I mean, not just because there's so much wealth, but there's a real belief in just what you described, that life is for the living, and so forth. And I think a lot of people are very, very committed to arts and culture in Switzerland, which is one of the reasons I've been so happy here for 5.5 years.
Yeah.
So we'll have to talk about that, getting you here, and you of course have a.
I have a list of galleries. One of my friends sent me a list of galleries that
That's
you are
cool.
in Zurich. You need to go. You need to connect.
You
with
share
that
that
gallery.
list. You share that list.
Of
You
course,
share
I will
that
do.
list.
I will do.
Absolutely.
I will do.
Now, for the right, with the listeners here, just go into the art dot proposition. I want to make sure that they really got it.
Yeah.
Value pop, art dot.
I think that it's important to understand what's happening in the world and what's happening in the world with the technology. At these moments, we have a new generation that the technology, when they came to the world, it was there. We are playing with all the devices, iPhones, iPads, TVs, streaming services. It means that the new generation, they connect with the reality, not just with the real world. They connect with the reality through the technology. And this is something that I think that is relevant. And then in a way that it was created, Ardot is how we can use the streaming services and how we can use blockchain to be sure that the new creators, that is the new artists, that at these moments they are not using any more Canvas. So see the artists that they are coming, some of them they are still traditional, but a lot of them they are using code, so they are using generative art, AI, to make the creation process. And then what we are doing is to take all that code, all that information, we are making packs in blockchain to be sure that it's protected in copyrights.
I was just going to ask. Okay, all right, yep.
Is protected in copyrights.
Yes, yeah.
And then we use the streaming services to be sure that we can move all that information anywhere.
So you're even more focused on IP for the creators than what has been there, because it's been a bit fragmented, hasn't it? So
Yes.
you take that's at the core of the proposition is the enablement and protection of the IP.
We believe in the creators as a point of creativity, and we think that we need to protect them.
Yeah.
This is the reason because we are here to protect the creative side. And I think that we achieve that through technology, and blockchain allow us to do that in a very easy way and monetize and make all the transfers.
Yes.
And that's the reason because we went to Web3.
Yes.
And now we are starting to see that a lot of companies in fashion business and luxury and in other sectors, they are starting to move all the platforms to Web3 too.
Okay, now I think I do know what Web3 is, but for the audience,
Yes.
Web3, define terms.
Okay. There is Web 1, that is you go and you read. There is Web 2, that you read and you write.
Yep.
And there is Web 3, that you can read, you
Yep.
can write, and you own. You own the information, you own the wallet, you own the NFT, you own whatever you have there.
Fascinating.
It means that that's the transition.
Got it.
And then all the information is open. It means that everybody can go to blockchain and can analyze the data that is there.
Got
It
it.
means that there is not a corporation or an entity.
Decentralized,
It's completely decentralized. You can access to blockchain.
Yep.
And then the companies, if there is like any tokens or any information there,
Yes.
they can see the customers,
Yes.
what they are buying or what they are doing, and then
Yes.
from there they can learn. It means that it's a very data-driven technology.
Okay. What are the inspirations for what you do? When you think about how you're growing the business, are you inspired by other businesses that we're doing a little bit of this from that business and so forth, or does it just all come from inside you just instinctively know how this business is going to grow?
I used to travel a lot. Okay, and for me the inspiration is coming normally from the big cities. So see the big cities like Hong Kong, Shanghai, London,
Got it.
Paris or New York. No, that
Okay.
kind of big cities. And you just need to take a look what's going on
Yeah.
in the cities and
Yeah.
how the face of the cities are starting to change.
Yeah.
This is a source of inspiration. And then if I need to have a reference in digital art, of course is Rafik Anadol. That it was one of the first digital artists that they started to create digital art through generative art, through data. And now he just sold a big piece in MoMA, New
Did it?
York.
Did it? Yeah.
And is one of the reference of the direction that we need to go.
We have some people that were here, some entrepreneurs from media, entertainment, and we have luxury experience, space travel, luxury head, and so forth. To what extent do you think that art is becoming an experience rather than a thing, or how do you view what art is? Is it an experience?
Yeah, I think that this is an amazing question because really open is a wall. It's not easy to explain all that because we are talking about how humans behave
Yes.
and how we are as a humans, no? But the experience, it's something that fashion brands or luxury brands, they develop forever. See, everything that's happening in luxury is experience and lifestyle, and everything that premium brands they are trying to do is trying to bring, or it has been like that, trying to bring that experience in the shops or in the collection. And it has been like that in the last years. I've been there for 20 years, and I know how they create the concepts and the brands. But what happened now is like the new generations, they are not going to the stores as before. It means that the first time that they connect with the brands is through the devices. It means that the brands, they need to think how we can move that physical experience in the digital space. And this is not just with a story. They need to associate with something more artistic. And this is where it's coming, that kind of artistic brand and experience. Because when we talk about Ardot, it's not a fixed, a static digital piece. Is fluidity. See, everything is movement. And this is where it happens, the experience. When you have that kind of movement, is when you became from a beauty piece to experience piece.
You are open to investment coming in. You've backed yourself. You've taken this to market so far. What's the investment opportunity here?
I've been like an angel investor for the last 2 years. I started that project when I still was working in corporate in a fashion company, luxury company, and I decided to put money until now. And now, because we have projects coming, important projects coming in London, in Hong Kong, because we are a Hong Kong-based company, and there is a lot going on there in Asia, and that's the reason because we decided to go to the investors, to the fundraising, and trying to find a partner, an investor that can help us to have that projects well done in the next 18 months. Okay, here we are asking for $650,000 US dollars for 10% of the company.
Right. Okay. Excellent. And as a Hong Kong company, does that give you a better platform, do you think, or is that historical, or what's the benefit of Hong Kong? It's kind of British law, or how does that all work?
The company, we can move if it's. See, there is any.
It's good as far as I'm concerned. I just don't know.
When I created a company, I was in Hong Kong because that was my period of time in Hong Kong. And the reason because it's in Hong Kong is because Hong Kong is the Web3 platform from China to create all the Web3 regulation. Okay, it means that at this moment they are starting to give licenses to use cryptos for retail.
How interesting.
It means that as a China, Hong Kong is very clear on that. They want to recover the place in the world through blockchain and Web3. It means that there is a clear strategy that this is the place that for a Web3 company, we need to be there. And that's that was the reason.
What is the kind of element of Ardot that is the most fascinating for you when you wake up and you think about the business? What do you think is the real innovation that you're going to be remembered for as a company, or that you're taking to market that you think, gosh, that's clever. That's really clever what we're doing.
For me, one of the things that we're enjoying a lot is when we talk about mixed reality. See, everything that it's mixed reality because it's new, and it's that kind of things that I've seen in the past. It was like that kind of gaming or whatever, but it was never has been in that level. And then when you see that kind of big players that they investing in technology going in that direction, we're talking about metaverse, we talk about gaming, we talk about VR, we're talking about AR, everything that is that kind of game. And then you mix reality and digital at the same time, and you put a piece of art in the middle. It's like, wow. This is the place that I want to be. This is the place that I want to be.
Now, I asked you when you were on stage, when you gave your keynote, which was very well received. People were very fascinated by what you did, what you're doing. I asked, to what extent is this just a consumer brand? And you mentioned the engagement with companies and brands connecting and so forth. But I mean, if you're an airline, if you're Delta Airlines, or if you're I don't know, all sorts of different industrial, do you think that Ardot can be relevant just across the board, chemicals companies and all sorts of different. Where do you see the scope of the natural space for you to operate in?
This is something that there is not limits. Okay, because we can see that the companies is not digital art on streaming. They are starting to talk about digital twins.
Yeah.
They are starting to use loyalty programs aligned with artists.
Yeah.
They are talking to be metaverse associated with digital artists.
Yes.
It means that, and there is more coming with tokenization, and maybe you can be part of the creative teams of the brands.
Yes.
With Web3. It means that we know what we know, but we don't know where we are going to be in 2 years' time. And we know that the speed is too fast. It's too fast. And they are bringing new things, is what I'm saying. I had just a list of companies in luxury and other markets that they just moved from Web 2 to Web 3, and they are starting to be metaverse because it's there, no? But they don't know exactly how to play. And Ardot can be so relevant in that kind of transition, not just in a streaming. It's because we are Web3 and we can go to that kind of metaverse in digital twins, loyalty programs, or NFT ticketings, or whatever it's in that level.
Now, will you come back? Will you come back to the FTE and join us another time?
If you invite me, for sure.
Okay. Well, we do this FTE both in Switzerland and in Greece.
Yeah.
I think there's a unique opportunity in Greece for Art Dot because, first of all, there's something in the way that the Greeks approach. First of all, it's just crazy how many of the companies that were presenting had Greek names. But there's something about design and beauty that the Greeks weave into their lives in a different way than I've ever seen in other places. It's just part of the way that they approach, and it's a beautiful country. And so, I would love to bring you to the FTE in Mykonos or Athens or to Kia, where we're going to be having an art cultural festival every year and so forth. So we look forward to having you come back. And to watch Art Dot just continue to flourish. Thank you so much for coming this year.
Thank you so much for everything that you are doing. Thank you.
This brings us to the end of our conversation with Carlos Solà-Vila, the CEO of Art Dot, here in Lake Zurich, FT Winter 2024.